Well, there we go. Hey, man. Welcome back to the Super Divorce YouTube, the Twitch, the Kick. Nicholas Villars here, aka Super Divorce, and tonight, Killer Klowns from Outer Space, the game. I haven't played this in a long time since I made my Killer Klowns Puppet Master review. If you haven't watched that, you're missing out because it was a great video. At least I think it was. Of course, I'm going to say that, I suppose. I mean, what, you know, what with it being my channel and all. Though you have to watch that on YouTube. If you're on Twitch or Kilk, chances are you can't watch my Killer Klowns or Puppet Master review because they're not hosted on those platforms. So, that's a little heads up for you. Just something to keep in mind as you move forward in life. That's all. But, I haven't played it in a while, and it says updating profile. They just got to update my profile. I don't know how long that should take. Well, it's been at least 2 minutes. It's been at least 2 minutes because I've been streaming for 2 minutes. I can see it right there on OBS when I'm looking at the time. It says 2 minutes and 7 seconds when I started speaking that sentence. And now it's even longer. That's what she said. And we're still updating the profile. Is this what I get for coming back to this game that I've played so much already? I mean, I don't do much in the way of multiplayer online games these days. I just prefer single player experiences for the most part. But this one I really enjoyed, and I put a lot of time into it compared to how much time I normally put into games like this. And I was looking forward to jumping back in here because it is the 1 year anniversary of this game's official release. Came out 1 year ago today. And I was looking forward to getting in here and playing it. However, as you can see, they must have a lot of updating to do. They are updating my profile. This is taking a long time. And I made sure before I blasted this game up here that I had downloaded the latest patch. Just came out. A brand new patch. Some balancing, some reductions in various items being spawned on the maps. Assorted items, I read through the list. But now, updating profile. Well, they might need a brand new patch that says, hey, remember how you wanted to play the game and you couldn't because it took 10 hours to update your profile? We fixed that. Maybe that's their next patch. Because right now this is not getting the job done. And here I am live on the internet, and I'm the one who looks like a fool with how's the saying go? With my dick in my hand, with my thumb up my butt. Pick your poison, really. But that's how I look right now, because they're not giving me anything. Updating profile. No one wants to watch a live stream of a guy updating his profile for 2 hours. At least I don't think you do. Maybe you do. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll just sit here and see how long it takes for the updating profile to happen. And I'll just sit here and rattle off hot takes all the while. Maybe that's what I'll turn it into. Impromptu hot take stream. Since it doesn't want to let me play the game that I should be allowed to play because I own it, or at least I paid for the license to play it for the time being. And as far as I knew, I was still allowed to play the game. They're just telling me, no. Now hold on, we've got updating to do. Your profile needs updated, sir. You think you can just come in here and play the game that you kind of own-ish? You think you can do that? Well, we've got something for you, Johnny Appleseed, sprinkling your seeds around here. You've got your seeds of fun. We've got our seeds of anti-fun. Not Antifa. We've got our seeds of anti-fun. And we're going to sprinkle them and sprankle them so that you can't play your game right now. Because you've got a profile to be updated. Oh, really? Is that so? You can put all these clowns on the screen. You can put your logo up on the screen. You can get the music going. You can do all that, but you can't get my profile updated in 6 minutes. You've had 6 minutes now to update my profile. And you're just sitting here doing whatever this is. I've downloaded the latest patch. And I actually opened the game to make sure that it would run. And I saw there was profile updating that needed to happen. But I didn't sit here long enough to see that this was going to go on for hours. So in my opinion, I did my due diligence. I started the game before I started streaming. I fired it up. Fire it up. I did what Modest Mouse would have told me to do. Fire it up. When you want to play the new game that you ain't played in a while, fire it up. And I did that, and now what I'm looking at is 7 minutes that I've been sitting here waiting for my profile to update. Now, here's the thing, okay? I know that I'm not the largest streamer in the world, okay? I know that I'm not Asmongold or anything. He got welcomed to Kick with a big ceremony last week. And I just joined Kick too. And I didn't get the red carpet rolled out for me. So I understand. I'm not on everyone's radar. I get it. But guess what? Here's a little something to put in your back pocket, Killer Klowns dev team. How many people are streaming your game right now compared to last year? A year later, how many streamers out there are covering this particular game? Riddle me that and answer it, how about? I don't have that exact number on me right now, but I know that it's lower than it was, significantly. So here I am. I come back humbly. I'm coming back very humbly, but what I'm saying is, humble as I am, I come back here. I choose, of all the games I could possibly choose, I choose to come back to Killer Klowns because I like it and I have fun with it, and I thought it'd be fun to revisit a year later. I come back to play this game on the internet to show I have 4 people watching right now. I know that's not much in the grand scheme of things, but guess what? You should take what you can get. I saw that your game is heavily discounted right now. And that means that if someone watching, one of the 4, hello Jess, probably don't count one of those because that's my wife. So 3 people, you've got 3 people that could possibly go out and buy this game if they liked what they happened to see tonight. But guess what? What are they seeing now? Oh, I was thinking about checking out that Killer Klowns game. I saw that it's on sale. What are they going to think when they come here and they check this out and they see what's happening right now? Oh, I saw that guy try to play that and he wasn't even able to get a single game going. He couldn't even make it to the main menu screen because it was updating his profile for 9 minutes and 34 seconds when I began saying that sentence. So, you know, if you don't want to make the sales, if you don't care whether or not people join up and try to revive this game that's losing steam and has been losing steam for a long time, let's face it, a lot of complaints, criticisms, points of topic have been seemingly ignored by the developers of this one over time. Well, I know you count, but what I'm saying is you're not going to go and buy this. You're not a potential customer. We already have it. You're not going to go and buy yourself a copy. That's why I said don't count you, because you already have it. If you wanted to play Killer Klowns, you can already play this game. You don't have to buy it again. I would let you play my copy. And so now here we are, 10 minutes and a half in, no game. No game. They're making me provide everything tonight. And that's okay. I can do that. For a little, I can stall for a while. I can do that. I've got different tactics and methods that I can deploy in order to stall and keep the stream going if that's what I have to do, all by myself without a game to lean upon. People do that all the time. They call them chill streams. Oh, we're just gonna chill out. I'm just gonna chill. Fine, I can fucking chill. I'll just chill out. What do you think I'm gonna do? What do you expect me to do right now? Stop the game and try to fire it up again? No, I really don't want to do that yet. Good Brother's not going to buy it either. Look, he just said. Because he's seeing what's happening right now. He's seeing that they're trying to make a fool of me here in front of my friends. They're trying to make a fool of me. But that's okay. Because I can make a fool of myself just fine. I've got different, like I said, tactics and methods that I can deploy in order to keep the stream going. It'd be better if I had real tobacco. In the pipe, I mean. But I can't put tobacco in this pipe on account of it's not a real pipe. It would melt. This is a plastic pipette. It looks like a real pipe. It's convincing enough as a prop, but if I tried to fill it with tobacco smoke, say I busted this cigarette up and I twiddled the tobacco leaves down inside of this pipe right here, and then I lit the tobacco and sucked through, then as I sucked it off, it would probably start to melt. And I'd end up with plastic stuck in my teeth, in my gums. It would be a mess. So I'm not going to do that. But I'm just letting you know what would happen if I did. And now we are at 13 minutes. And thus far, I have not made it to the main menu. It's still updating my profile. It takes a long time to update your profile in this game, I guess. You ever know anyone who smoked like this? See, some people do it like this. Some people use it. This is more of like a marijuana thing. You see people do this with a joint of weed more often than they do it with a cigarette. Some people smoke their cigarettes like this. Just like this right here. Not in between the fingers. That's more of a classic cigarette grip. We'll call it a cigarette grip. And this is more of a marijuana cigarette grip. Some people like to put 2 fingers on it. If you're really insane, you might put 3, or even the most insane of all would be this right here. If you see someone doing this, run away as fast as you can. If you step outside for a smoke at the bar and you look next to you and you see a guy doing this, make sure you run away. This is completely unhinged and psychopathic. And even if they move it up like this as they smoke the cigarette, even if they move all of their fingers and scrunch them onto the filter, it's still wild. You still don't want to be around that guy. But, you know, this is acceptable. That's acceptable. I don't even say this because it's kind of like, it's a little, you can be a little dainty. You can kind of put it in the middle of the triangle right there. You have like a triangle going on and you get the cigarette in the middle of it, and then you can kind of do this. But this is the classic cigarette grip. That's the point I'm trying to make. But if you see someone doing this, what you might have on your hands is someone who's also a regular marijuana smoker. That might be a giveaway if they're like this. Especially if they do that. Especially if they start doing that stuff, they're probably telling you, I also smoke weed. If you got any on you, I might be a potential customer. after I update my profile. Maybe you can sell me some marijuana from the satchel that you have on you. Oh, I see that you're wearing a fanny pack. Do you have any marijuana in there that I can buy? They're not going to come out and say that, but if you see them doing this with a cigarette, if you see them doing that with a cigarette, what they mean is, I think that this guy has marijuana on him and he can sell it to me. So just look out for that. It also could be an undercover agent, which is something else you got to watch out for. I've been targeted by undercover agents suspecting me of being a marijuana dealer because of my long hair and beard. They see that and they think, oh, this guy's a hippie. He's probably some kind of Charles Manson guy. And I'm not, but that's the impression they've gotten. So I've been a time or two, I could feel the prying eyes of the law bearing down on me. Just putting that vibe out there. I remember this one guy tried to, I'm pretty sure he was trying to recruit me into a militia. Like a fake militia. I'm pretty sure. Not like a real militia. A fake one. Like a honey pot. They call them honey pots. Because it's like a pot of honey and they try and get you to come and start dipping into it. Ooh, honey. I love honey. And they start scooping it into your mouth and it just starts to dribble down. Especially messy for a guy like me who's got facial hair like this. You start digging into the honey pot. You get the honey stuck in the beard. Honeystuckle is what it's called. And that comes from the word honeysuckle. It's just it's a twist on it. But, you know, we're just 17 minutes in here trying to update my profile on Killer Klowns the game. Just waiting for it to update. See what happens when we can finally get a game going here. This is version, you can see it up there in the corner. This is version 1.9.0.28397 for you. In case you were wondering, well, which version is it? Maybe you need to roll back your version. I don't have any way of doing that right now. That's all handled through Steam. Kind of one of the downsides of having these games all bound up in a service like Steam. You want to roll it back. They don't really give you the opportunity to do that. They just update it for you automatically. And then you're kind of dialed into the new version, we could say. But, you know, back to the cigarette grips. Like this right here. Some people might smoke it like this because they think this looks too dainty. Sometimes people accuse guys of being gay if they hold their cigarettes like this. Now, of course, since it's Pride Month, people are going to celebrate it. Or at least some people will. I don't really give a shit one way or the other. That's just me speaking. I don't really care. I don't really care whose butt you want to stick your wiener into. It's not really a point of celebration or whatever for me. You know. But the cigarette grip, some people might say you look gay doing this. And I think the correct attitude to have is that if you like holding your cigarette this way, you don't really mind. You don't care. Not necessarily because you're gay and you celebrate Pride Month, but because you don't care. If this is how you like holding your cigarette and this is comfortable for you, then by golly, that's the best way for you to hold your cigarette, as far as I'm concerned. And if you like holding it this way and you're not a marijuana dealer or a smoker, then that's okay too. Don't be worried or bullied into holding your cigarette differently just because you think people are going to come to certain conclusions about how you're holding it. And unless you do this. Unless you do that. If you do that, you should change how you hold your cigarette because people are going to think that you are a murderer and they're going to run away from you. And it would be my suggestion to run away from anyone who does this with their cigarette. Especially if it starts burning down towards the pinky and it's on fire. You know what I mean? If it's on fire and they're still holding it right here and it's lighting their pinky aflame and their fingernail is starting to melt off into the cigarette and they're continuing to smoke it, run. Big time run. Really run. Oh, that's a good idea. Sandman 1913 brings up a great point. Use one of those foot-long black filter thingies. You know what I'm talking about? What he's talking about, what I'm talking about now, because he brought it up. It wasn't my idea. I'm giving props to Sandman. It's like a big stick. It's like a selfie stick for cigarettes. And you just plop it onto the end, and you've got like, I don't know, I don't have anything that I can use to illustrate this properly, except for maybe this. I've got a switch dock. Now imagine instead of the switch dock, it was just a slender piece of black plastic, about as big around as this cigarette is, just a little bit bigger so you can stick it inside. But you would put the cigarette in there like this, and you light it, and then you're gonna smoke it from way back here. And that way your finger never actually your hand never even touches the cigarette once it's lit. And you can just smoke it like that. So, this is a fancy way of smoking a cigarette. That's how people like to smoke them at fancy events, you know, like mixers, wine mixers. What else do they have where people use those? They've got Broadway shows. You probably see a lot of people outside a Broadway show using the black stick. The little black filter thingy, as Sandman called it. Pointed out. A black filter. I don't know what the real name is. Maybe someone can figure that out. Can someone figure that out? Can someone look that up? Somebody out there. We've got 8 people watching as my profile continues to update. It's been now 23 minutes and 2 seconds as of the time I started speaking that last sentence there. But we're just continuing to wait for the profile to load. But I know that 8 people are watching, and I was wondering if one of them might be able to figure out what the black piece is called that you put your cigarette into, that I used my switch dock just a second ago as a prop to kind of demonstrate how it would work. So you smoke your cigarette like this. Imagine this is just a thin tube of black plastic. It'd have to be a sturdy black plastic because you wouldn't want it to melt. That'd be a problem. Good Brother says it's called a stem. They call those stems. Now, I know that a lot of people out there are trying to get their children into STEM fields, right? They want their kids to go into STEM, especially a lot of people pushing for the young daughters to go into STEM, even if they have no interest in doing that. They would like to guilt them into it because they don't think the numbers are quite distributed equitably across male and female representation in STEM fields. So what I think a lot of people have taken it upon themselves to do is to guilt and shame their young daughters out of being interested in things young daughters might normally be interested in favor of getting them interested into the STEM fields. Now, what I think they should do is, instead of doing that, is they should get them interested in the STEM fields as it pertains to cigarettes. Because those are very, very traditionally ladylike. And so that might be a great way to get the stems back into common usage outside of the Broadway shows, outside of fancy wine mixers where you might run into the Great Gatsby. Just start getting young girls interested in stems for cigarettes, so that when they grow up and they're old enough to smoke, they remember being little girls when their family introduced them to the other STEM field, which was the STEM field that concerns itself with all of the different types of stems that you can put your cigarettes into. They could make all sorts of different colors and designs Maybe you could play with the thickness. You know what I mean? If you start really hammering down and figuring out how we can take the traditional cigarette stem and kind of turn it on its head a little bit. Expand it. There are so many opportunities that have not been explored yet because I feel like people have kind of forgotten about them. Except for Sandman, who brought it up. And he could be credited with kicking off the next STEM revolution once we see stems back out on the street all over the place. We get rid of the vapes. We don't need those anymore. That's kind of taken over. But I think whatever, the next generation coming up, what is it? It's not Gen Z, it's the one after. Is that Gen Alpha? Gen Alpha, I think they're going to be the ones who say, you know what? Enough of the vapes. We're putting the vapes away. You guys keep those. We just want old-fashioned cigarettes. And we would like a few more options when it comes to stems for holding them. Because we are more health conscious than our predecessors. And we think that maybe separating the cigarette from the face a little bit would give it more time to be filtered. And would also keep our fingers clean so you don't get the kind of smoker's yellowy that you often see sometimes on these two fingers. Sometimes smokers will get this yellowy tint on their fingers right here. Right there where they hold the cigarette. Now, of course, I don't have that because I don't really smoke that often. I've got these cigarettes here, but I'm a very, very occasional smoker. I like using cigarettes as a prop. Like this, because I think it makes you look cool. I don't think there's any denying that. I think anyone who denies that has an axe to grind. And I mean, they're being facetious. They're not being honest. So I smoke very, very occasionally, but I'll keep these around. You'll see me pick up cigarettes all the time. But this is like the same cigarette I've been picking up for over a month now. I just don't smoke it. If I did, I'd probably have the smoker's yellowy on these fingers. Because this feels more natural to me. I'm this guy if I'm smoking, usually. I'm really not this. I don't do this one. Unless I was smoking a joint of weed, which is even rarer than a cigarette. Because I don't like how weed makes me feel. I never really have. I've had a couple kind of fun experiences, but on the whole, it's just not for me. It's not enjoyable. Sandman says he prefers to live a bit more elusively because people mostly suck. Well, you know, I'll take that as a compliment because if you think people mostly suck and you're hanging out here right now, then I have to assume, at least for the moment, you're not getting suck vibes from me. So I'm not giving off sucky vibes right now. I hope. Unless you're just here hanging out watching to see how badly I will continue to suck. Which is possible. But I'm not reading it that way. What are we saying here? Good Brother said cigarette stems were designed to not muss women's gloves or lipstick, but women don't wear those things anymore. Well, I think lipstick is still used. Definitely. Definitely lipstick is still in common usage. I think that's a big lie to say that cigarettes don't get on, or lipstick is not a problem when it comes to cigarettes, or cigarettes aren't a problem for lipstick. Right? That could be the way that you sell it. Because I will grant you the gloves, not so much. You don't see the gloves very much. And thank you, Sandman. Thanks. I try not to suck. Unless I'm sucking in when I'm taking a drag of a cigarette. But that's not often. Said everywhere that he's looked, just calls them cigarette holders or fancy cigarette holder. You can buy them single or in bulk depending on just how fancy you want to be. Well, there's a great idea for the Super Divorce Super Store. Maybe I will make Super Divorce cigarette stems or fancy holders, whatever you want to call them. Fancy stem cigarette holder by Super Divorce. And I'll have, we can put the little heart logo on there. We could make them different colors. We can have different variations. I think that's a good idea. I'm gonna have to look into that and see what it would cost to have some custom holders made, some custom stems. Because that's an untapped market, I think. I don't know of any other tuber out there who's producing custom stems for their viewers and subscribers to go and purchase. Wide open market for me right now. And I hope that this stream stays low-key enough to where someone else doesn't scoop that idea up. I hope I don't look tomorrow on Twitter or X and see an update from Asmongold where he says, hey, check out my new cigarette holders, my new stems that I've got at my Asmongold store. You're the guy that almost played bass for Super Divorce the band. Oh, shit. Are you? Are you really? Well, that's something else. Huh. You almost played bass for Super Divorce the band, did you? Prove it. How am I to take you at your word? How would I know? Tommy. Interesting. I see. Well then, that's been a while, I suppose. Right? That's been a little while? Speaking of a little while, 33 minutes and 2 seconds it's been that I've been sitting here waiting for my Killer Klowns from Outer Space the Game profile to update. Still just waiting for it to update. No big deal. I'm just imagining behind the scenes here in the clinking and clanking of the machinery, the computer, the code running, the connections, the whizzing and the whirling happening behind the scenes. What are they doing to my profile right now? What exactly needs to be done? What needs to be updated? Because I haven't changed anything. All my info is still the same. What do you need to update on my profile? That's what I wonder. Sandman said it'd take him days to find the messages. It was probably 8-ish years ago. Yeah, I mean, that sounds about right. That fits the timeline, so I believe you. That fits the timeline just right. When we would have been looking for a bass player. These days, if I need to slap around, I just play a bass myself. I got a bass guitar right here. I slap it around a little bit. More of a hobbyist on the bass guitar. Because, you know, it's more for demoing stuff. If I just need a little, if I need a little background shit going on, I'm okay enough to get that done. Good Brother said he auditioned to play ukulele for Super Divorce, but he got booted. Yeah, your timing just left a little bit to be desired, Good Brother. I'm sorry. But that was heartbreaking because we really thought that uke section was going to take things to another level. I really thought that was going to open things up for us. We'd become a brand new sort of entity. If only we could add the fucking uke section. I had this vision in my head of an entire section of ukes. We were going to have about 10 uke players led by Good Brother, but he kind of blew it. And that was like, you know what? If that guy wasn't able to hold it together, you know, and he seemed so reliable and so on point at first. If he broke down under the pressure, then I don't want to mess with it. We're going to scrap the uke idea. It's not going to work out. It's not a good scene, man. Yeah, I remember the Loveless. Absolutely. I mean, Brett and I go back a long, long way. Way back to elementary school. I've told this story before a time or two on this channel, but I don't mind to tell it again, about my first encounter with Brett. It was on the playground. I was in second grade. I think he was in first. And I had brought my Power Rangers toys, my brand new Rangers toys, and I brought them to school. And I had all the toys out there. Not all of them, but, you know, the main ones. I had the Ranger team, and then I think like a couple bad guys. And we were playing with them out on the playground. Everyone having a good time. Everyone playing normally. And then I looked over, and I saw that Brett had grabbed my, I think it was the Yellow Ranger. And he just started slamming it into the pavement like a little prick for no reason. Just grabbed it and was just slamming it down like he was trying to hammer a nail down. And the arm went flying, like shot across the pavement. And I was like, oh my god. You can't find those things. They were so elusive. You couldn't find Power Rangers toys anywhere. It was like a miracle that I got those. And he destroyed one. And I ran over and I grabbed it, you know, and I looked at him and I was like, you broke my Power Ranger, what are you doing, you know? And every time he passed me in the hallway from that point on, he would make little scrunched up cry face, and he'd like put his hands up like this and he'd go, you broke my Power Ranger! And then he'd run away laughing. And he just gave me shit about it. He thought it was so hilarious. Just a little fucking shit for no reason. And I would confront him. I walked up to him multiple times and I was like, you need to buy me a new Power Ranger. You need to give me money for that. And his brother ended up cornering me at a skating party. His brother was in third grade. So I was in second, he was in first. His older brother was in third. And he cornered me at a skating party. He spun me around. He grabbed me by the shoulder. He spun me around. He grabbed me like this with his hand back. Ah, you know? And he's like, leave my brother alone. And I was like, okay. I'm sorry for hassling your brother because he fucking broke my shit for no reason. Sorry, my bad, dude. My fucking bad for giving him a hard time. Oh, by all means, break all my shit. I'll bring him back next Monday. And you guys can destroy him together. How about that? Would that be fun for you? Is that what you wanted? Leave my brother alone. Fuck you, dude. He broke my shit. I should be allowed to hassle him. I wasn't trying to beat him up. I was like, can you help replace this? Because you just did that on purpose, you know? Whatever. But yeah, that was a long time ago. Then we got into March and Collapse together. And we were in that band years later. That was like, he was, I think, a senior in high school, and I had just graduated. And then Justin and Tyler were younger than both of us. But we were in that band together for multiple years. Had a lot of great times. A lot of good memories. I love Brett, though. He's a good fellow. I consider him a close friend to this day. It's been a while since we've hung out. I still talk to him from time to time. Send him a text here and there. But it was, looking back here, said it was you on the upright bass. And Rusty, Nettler, and Brett. I remember Rusty, too. He lived kind of in the same neighborhood as me. Rusty did. I would see him outside playing, you know, when I would be out riding my bike. I wasn't friends with him, but I remember, like, I could probably still point his house out. I remember where he lived back in the day. Yeah, Chad, he is, I heard that. That was kind of crazy. I wouldn't want to get pulled over by Chad. But, you know, what are we looking at here now? 40 minutes. Just been waiting here for 40 minutes for my profile to update. 40 minutes. 40 minutes. Yeah, Brett is very busy. Firefighter, army. I don't know, is he still playing tunes at all? Is he doing anything? I haven't really talked to him about music in a while. I hope he's not given up completely, because he's a badass guitar player. And also a great vocalist himself. Puts on a hell of a show. I remember when he and Anthony got into a fight on stage at a March and Collapse show one time. During like the kind of crazy ending of this one song that we had. Our guitar player Brett, who we're just talking about here, the kid who broke my Power Ranger, Brett and our bass player Anthony, rest in peace, they got into like a fist fight on stage during the ending breakdown of the song, and it was wild. I've got it on tape somewhere, and it used to be on YouTube, and then the video disappeared. I don't know what happened to it. We played that show. So everyone, you always have to name drop if you're a musician. I'm guilty of it. Everyone fucking does it. But we played that show with Bayside. That was a badass little concert there at the, I think it was a Knights of Columbus Hall. And that was a fun show. But they were wailing on each other. And then they just stopped and went right back into playing. I don't know like what led to it. I'd have to watch the video again to see like what events transpired. Maybe they like bumped into each other too many times, or someone like swung around and bashed the other dude with their headstock or something. But they got pissed off and started just flailing, just punching each other in the face. And then stopped and went back to playing the song again to finish it out. And it was a great clip. I'd have to find it. Hey, he remembers. Sandman remembers. Yeah, I think it used to be on YouTube way back in the day, like very early YouTube video. And it was like March and Collapse, one of many crazy shows or something like that. And I've looked it up a few times over the years. I can never find it again. But I have the original tape. I've still got all my old tapes. I had an idea to make an old scene kind of documentary sometime. I think that'd be fun to do, because I've got so much footage from back in those days, from the March and Collapse days. I've got so much of those shows on tape, and then, you know, recordings of us just fucking around at practice or driving around in the car together. I bet it'd be a lot of fun to go through. And I'm like, you know, I'd just beyond my own nostalgia, I think that would be fun for a lot of people who grew up in that time to go back and watch. Because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of original content from that era. Which is weird. You know, because we had pretty regular access to camcorders, you know. I feel like a lot of bands probably recorded their shows, but it doesn't seem like much of that stuff's been curated properly. So I think it'd be cool to put together a little, I don't know, what do you want to call it, like a mini retrospective or something, and maybe sit down with those guys and share some memories and laughs about stuff. I think that'd be cool. Yeah, man. Sandman said those were the fucking days, man. Drinking, smoking, playing in various street punk and hardcore bands. Yeah, it was a great time. It was, I think, like, the scene that we were in was a little bit different. But, you know, the Great American Beast, which was like the kind of southern hardcore band that I was in after I left March and Collapse. That was like the next big project. Before Great American Beast, those guys were called the Red Affair, which was a splinter off from A Day in the Life. You see all these, it'd be fun to go back and look at all the family trees, like the splintering off that bands did over the years. But, you know, you had A Day in the Life, And that split, and one half became the Red Affair, the other half became Hawthorne Heights. And then the Red Affair, their singer left, and that's when I stepped in. So I was originally joining the Red Affair, and then it changed to the Great American Beast, and we had a nice fun run. That was a good time. But you know, that was it was a fun time. It was fun and crazy time. What was I was bringing them up for some reason in particular. Why did I get onto the tangent of the Beast, of T-Gab, of the Great American Beast? Well, maybe it'll come back to me. But anyway. Oh, now I remember. So we got back together and played a show for the first time in about a decade. We played our last show in 2012, and then we reconvened for a show in, I think it was 21. So it was almost a decade. And the vibes were weird within the band. Not the greatest vibes going into that show, like, internally. But we played with, like, all punk bands, like, all young punk bands that night at an American Legion. And it was awesome. Crowd-wise and just vibes-wise, it was, like, one of my favorite shows I've ever played, personally. You take, like, the band out of it, and the interaction, the energy with the crowd was so fun. And I was like, man, I should have just been playing in punk bands the whole time, or playing with punk bands, because even though we weren't a punk band, we're playing pretty different music. You know, these dudes, it was cool to see young kids playing shit like that, you know, like playing hardcore, like old school hardcore. I'm talking like Black Flag and Minor Threat and just like, you know, and then you had some that were kind of like Operation Ivy or Rancid. It was a nice mix of punk bands. It would be fitting for old punk scenes. And then we go in there and we're like kind of Every Time I Die. That was really what we were going for when we made that band. But we went in there and played, and everyone was just awesome. They got super into it. And my favorite thing about that show, I think, wasn't even from when we were playing. It was like, it was a we're back moment. A great we're back moment for human beings. Because you had COVID in 2020, and a lot of places were still like super gay about it in 2021. And we played this show. Actually, the internal shit within the band kind of had something to do with people's, well, what do you want to say, hesitance towards COVID at the time still. But anyway, being there at that show, at one point I was watching one of the other bands play, and the small group of kids, probably had to be like 6 or 7 of them, they kind of just cleared out the middle section of the floor in front of where the band was playing, and one dude had a beer. He cracked it open, he did the Stone Cold Austin, poured it in his mouth, and then one of his buddies ran over in front of him and like dropped down on a knee and opened his mouth, and they did kind of like a bird feed segment. And the first kid who had chugged it spit it down into his buddy's mouth, and then he stood up and someone else came and took his spot, and they kept this chain going. And I was like, oh my god, that's so refreshing to see. I love that. I love that so much in that moment. That, like I said, that was like a we're fucking back. I am amongst people who aren't afraid to fucking live their lives. That was nice to see. So, yeah, inspirational. You wouldn't think that that would be an inspirational moment, but it was very inspirational from my point of view. Think of all the insane shit. Yeah, beer human centipede. Good way of describing it. But I loved it, you know, because it was like, oh my god. when can we just, like, not do this whole thing? I don't want to get too hung up on that, but I'm just saying, man, there was some wacky shit going on at that time. I remember, like, here's another great COVID story. Our local movie theater, the one that we usually would go to, you know, they had, like, the strict mask thing. Some places were much more loose about it. And Mike DeWine, the governor in Ohio, had come out and announced, like, oh, okay, the mask mandate is going to be lifted, like, next Friday. And so you had, like, a week left. And Jess and I were going to go to our first movie, like, since COVID happened. And it was right before the thing was lifted. No one was making anyone wear them anymore, like, in the area. Everyone had pretty much just stopped. I mean, you still had people who were doing it electively, but places weren't making you. They weren't hassling if you walked in, because it was like, yeah, it's going away next week. What the fuck? So we walked up to buy the tickets, and the guy was like, sorry, you need to put your masks on. And I was like, dude, it's over, like, in a few days. And he was like, I'm sorry, I can't sell you the tickets unless you put your mask on. And I know you never get anywhere from, like, pressing people in that position, but I just had to ask. I was like, can you tell me what you think is going to change between now and Friday? Do you have anything? Can you tell me any reason why you think you're enforcing this right now? Is it helping anybody? What happens? Literally no one else in the theater, by the way. This was like a like super duper middle of the day matinee, probably around like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. Nobody, I'm not exaggerating, no other customers there, just the people working at, like, concessions. That was it. And the person taking tickets. And I was like, can you tell me what's going to change between now and Friday? He's like, well, I don't know. I just, And it's like, man, that's what's crazy about the kind of, like, corporate policy mentality. You turn people into fucking drones, take away their ability to, like, think for themselves at all. I'm not saying, hey man, can you slip me a free popcorn? What's it gonna matter? That's a different thing. That's like stealing. I'm not asking you to let me steal. I'm asking you on a, like, human to human level. What's going to change? Anything? Am I endangering anyone right now? You're talking to me. You're fine. You seem to be okay. You're comfortable enough to not run away because I don't have a mask on. This is all going away, like, in a few days. I can't go and watch the movie because I won't perform this ritual that you want me to perform right now to show you that I'm down or whatever the fuck. And so he was like, no, I'm sorry, I can't sell you the tickets. So I was like, all right, well, adios. And I was thinking about it. It was like, movie theaters were one of the hardest hit industries. Like the film industry. Movie theaters took a huge blow during that time. And I was thinking to myself, like, that's insane that we just got turned away after they've been closed for so long. They come back, they do the thing, you know, you got to sit so many feet apart. They couldn't take full capacity for a long time. It was like they could only sell a certain number of tickets. Here you've got people ready to give you money for tickets. We always buy the fucking popcorn and the drinks and the biggest sizes and the candy and the horse shit. And I'm trying to give you money. Sorry. Simon didn't say. You know. Sandman says, too many people took the vid way too seriously. All it was a massive experiment. I mean, that's certainly a possibility, you know. Then people would be like, oh, well, what about all the, I don't know. Let's just say YouTube gets butthurt. I talked a lot about that. Social distancing, yeah. The greatest thing about social distancing was, it's like you would have lines of people You know what I mean? If you're lining up single file, you could have lines of people who would have to stand 6 feet away from each other if you imagine, like, the virus moving forward. It's like, you cough, you gotta have 6 feet distance between the front of your body and the back of the next person in front of you. They would have the dots on the floor, but then the dots wouldn't all be 6 feet away from each other horizontally. Like if you're looking left and right, you could have someone like 2 feet over from you. There are little dots over there. It's just that the one 6 feet in front of you had to be at that position. Anyone standing in front had to be 6 feet away from you. Side to side, not so much. That's cool. It's like a game of chess. It's like it moved a certain number of steps forward, but it could only move like one step to the left or the right. Wild shit. Wild shit. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Chope. We got Chope over on Twitch says, what's going on with the servers? I don't know. I've been wondering that myself for 56 minutes and 56 seconds as of the time that I started saying that. Why is it taking forever to update profile in the game? I don't know, Darnell. I'd love to know. Good Brother says in all caps, restart the game. No. Actually, I'm putting my foot down because I want them to see what they've done. I want this to stand as a testament to what happened when I came back and tried to play this game on the anniversary of its release for the first time in months. I said, oh great, you know what? I'm feeling that. I want to play Killer Klowns. I haven't played it in a while. And this happens. You leave me with my updating profile for 57 minutes and 47 seconds. Here we are. So I'm waiting still. I'll tell you what. I'll try restarting it at 1 hour, so I can say that I gave it the old college try. I don't want anyone to be able to say, well, you just needed to wait a little bit longer. You know the meme where it's like the guy with the pickaxe and he's down underground and he's tunneling away, and then he stops and he walks away all dejected holding his pickaxe. Like, oh no, oh I didn't find anything. And then there's like a little sliver of wall, and on the other side of it there's a diamond, like a huge diamond, and it's supposed to represent don't give up because you could be so close to the prize. I don't want people to use that meme to explain what happened here tonight. You just needed to let it update just a little bit longer and you would have been in the game. No one can say that. If I go an hour, no one should have to wait an hour for their profile to update just to play a game. That seems crazy to me. I think we can say safely at that point, we waited, we did our due diligence, and the game itself is fucked up. It's not my problem. I think I can already say that now. But here we go. 59 minutes and 15 seconds it's been. Oh, you know what? Let's see if the chat's up here. There we go. I forgot to take the pineapple away to show the chat on the television set. Fucking game's right. 30-second countdown now. And I'll try to restart it if it doesn't kick in here at the last second. We'll try. We'll see what happens. Fucking the 1 year anniversary's over now, by the way. Because it came out June 4th of 2024. Now we're past it. Alright. Okay, I'll try. Okay, gonna have to do that. Alright, screen's black. On Steam it even says, featured major update yesterday, patch notes. I wonder if that was part of the patch. You just fucked it up. So I can't even play it anymore. Yeah, we're gonna have to stop it. Stop it. Stop the game. Stopping. Now I've got the green play button again. I can try this once more. Let me try to fire it up. Firing it up. Firing it up. See the easy anti-cheat. Initializing screen. I don't know how long I give it before, you know, pulling the plug completely. This is fucking garbage that they would do this to me. Do you know who I am? How the fuck could you do this to me? All right, authorizing. It says authorizing. Updating profile. Still has a little updating to do. I guess they haven't had long enough, right? They need just a little bit more time. We're still working on that profile. We're still trying to update it for you. Give us just a few more seconds, please. Don't be hasty. We need just a few more seconds. Just give us a few more fucking seconds to open up your profile and update it. In the meantime, watch some of these little clown vignettes that we're going to show on the screen for you. That'll keep you occupied for a while. That'll be just good and just good and nice. I don't think it's going to work. It looks like it's stuck. Okay, here. I'm going to go full tilt. All right? I'm going to go full tilt here. Let's see what happens when I uninstall the game. I am uninstalling it now. It has been uninstalled from my personal computer. Now I'm going to reinstall it and see, maybe, depending on how long this download supposedly takes here. See if my internet wants to do its job, or if my internet also wants to be a piece of shit this evening. We'll figure that out right now. We're trying to sort this out here. It's downloading right now. We've got a 13.6 gigabyte download that has to happen. So far, we've downloaded 1 gig. So it's not being as bullshit as it could be. Sometimes it's just awful. I don't know why. I'm supposed to get a full gig all the time. It should be going faster than this, really. But where are we? 2 gigs almost. We're almost at 2 gigs. We're getting there. Okay, we have reached the 2 gigabyte mark. In the meantime, what's going on today? Anything back in the news? Anything you guys hear about?
What's back in the news, Kev?
Anything back in the news? Any tidbits that you guys have heard that you found interesting? Anything you've been wanting to get off your chest? You know? Do you need to vent about anything? I'm all ears. Let me know. What do you guys want to talk about while we wait for the next 10 gigs to download? We're past 3. We're at 3.1, 3.2, continuing to march towards 13.6, and then we'll fire it up and see if maybe doing a full reinstall, an uninstall and then a reinstall, fixes this issue. And maybe it can be informative for others if it works. If anyone else gets hung up on the updating profile bug, they'll be like, oh, I saw Super Divorce. He tried to give it an hour to download. He gave it the old college try. And then you just had to uninstall it and reinstall it, and it worked just fine. And then you might ask yourself, well, are you going to feel like a big stupid dummy if it does work? And the answer is no. I won't feel like a stupid dummy because I will know in my heart that I tried my best. That I tried to give this game the benefit of the doubt. And say, you know what? I haven't played it in a while. Maybe they've added a lot to my profile. Maybe it just really needs updated in a big, big way. Maybe just a big, big update. Maybe I'm going to get in there and my profile is going to be so different. There are going to be so many new things to see when I fire it up. I'll be so impressed. So many bells and whistles. But that didn't happen. I don't think that's what was going on. They weren't just updating my profile in a big, big way. They had dropped the ball. Something with that patch yesterday, I bet. That big 1-year patch, I think, did me in. Good Brother says, why does Pride get a month, in all caps, and soldiers that died for the country get a day? Discuss. All right, Sandman. Thanks for hanging out for a bit. Hope to see you again sometime. Streams Monday through Friday at 11:30 p.m. if you ever want to stop by and hang. That's when we're here. So hope to see you again sometime. You take care of yourself. Have a good evening. Have a good recharge. Now, as for what Good Brother said, why does Pride get a month and soldiers that died for the country get a day? I guess, what would I say if I were gay? Let me try to... I guess the gay perspective might be, well, it's a celebration. It's fun. It's a fun party to be gay. I don't know. Is that what it is? You get a month because it's like a month-long celebration with rainbows and parades and the whole thing. And they say, well, we don't want the soldiers to have a month because that's like a downer. And that makes us think about war and death and bombs and guns and icky stuff. Stuff that's icky and not fun. And then I'd come back, stepping back into my regular shoe, taking off the gay shoes, taking off the loafers for a second. People always used to say that. You don't hear that terminology used much anymore. He's a little light in the loafers. No one ever says that anymore. Or as my friend's grandfather put it one time, he looked across the McDonald's and he said, I bet that guy won first prize in the hanky toss. You don't hear stuff like that anymore. Or maybe it was gold medal. I think that guy won gold medal in the hanky toss. But in just the regular shoes, I would say 4th of July is fantastic. And that is bullshit. I agree. I'm just saying. Trying to formulate devil's advocate there. You might say, oh, well, it's more fun. It's more fun. But again, I would push back and say, but how fun is the 4th of July? It's awesome. You get the fireworks, you get a parade, a bit more family friendly, usually a few less mostly nude furries. You don't see much of that going on at the 4th of July parade, I guess, depending on where you live. But, you know, I love the 4th of July. If it was like that for a month in June, leading up to like the big, that'd be a cool, maybe way to flip it there. Well, what do? Well, you have a month-long celebration. I think it would work. Leading up to the 4th of July. And that's like the big blow-off. That's like the pay-per-view, if you will. People just barbecue on Memorial Day or buy a sofa. It's not sad. Well, you know, it's I guess it wouldn't be as effective for marketing if during the sofa commercial they tried to make people be in like a downer state. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying it wouldn't be effective marketing. And there's no putting that toothpaste back in the tube. No one's going to stop holding Memorial Day sales, I don't think, for fairly insignificant items. So I guess they have to try to make it an upbeat party type atmosphere on that day as well. But, you know, if you want people to replace Pride Month with sort of a month honoring veterans, then you do have to focus on the goodness. You don't want the whole month to be a downer. You would want people to have that sort of rockets, red glare, bombs bursting in air atmosphere. You'd want that to be going on. You want it to be a big party and saying, fuck yeah, man. Thanks for defending us here, little baby boys here who didn't have to go and fight for anything. Thanks for taking care of us, all the people who have. Thanks for making it so that we can sit here and do our fucking barbecues and have our little get-togethers and our little hometown fireworks displays and so on and so forth, and our county fairs and all of our red, white, and blue regalia. You do that with an appreciative tone, with some gratitude behind it. And I think it would work. Just make June barbecue month. All right, everybody, it's barbecue month. Everybody have fun tonight. Barbecue month starts now. Barbecue every night. Every single night of the month. Barbecue fucking parties. Everywhere you go. I guess I would get behind that too. There's more for me to celebrate. I feel like unless you're gay or you're a kind of virtue signaling company who changes your logo to a rainbow version of the regular logo for 1 month out of the year, and then you do the So Long Gay Bowser and switch it back in July, there's really not much for anyone to do who's not gay. I guess some straight people go to the Pride Parade because they want to show their allies, right? But for the most part, it's not like people just say, well, I'm going to dabble. I'm not gay, but I think I'll dabble this month. I'm not gay any other time of the year, but you know what? I really like to dabble in June just to kind of be festive. That's the 1 month out of the year where I just like sucking cock. You don't really hear that. You don't really hear that. I don't know anyone who does that. So, besides having a parade, I'm not sure what else gets... I don't even know. I don't know. You see like displays in the stores from time to time with rainbow stuff. And maybe sell like the little rubber wristbands and things like that. But for the most part, it's like people say it's Pride Month. It's June, it's Pride Month. Okay. And then what? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do in June that I'm not doing the rest of the time? Stop and think about gay people more often. It's just kind of a silly thing. That's my opinion, but I don't know. Are we almost done here? 13.6 gigs. 13.6 coming up. 98% installed, or at 99 now. Download. Okay, there we go. It is complete. I do barbecue and frosty coolie pops for 30 days and 30 nights. Sounds like a plan. Let's try this again. I feel like it would be interesting if the state got really involved in Pride Month and they mandated everybody dabble throughout the month of June, like set you up with appointments. Have you done your dabbling for June? Okay, waiting for the game. All right. There's the big scary lion. There's the Ilphonic. Authorizing. Updating profile. Well, indeed. That's a big old whip. Whip. All right. No one can say that I didn't try. Unbelievable. Unreal. This is crazy. I've never seen anything quite like this before. Quite something. Wow, 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 wow. Well, I guess wish you the best, Killer Klowns. Wish you the best. Hope you sort your shit out. I don't want to say they ruined my stream, because we still kept it going. We kept it going. We kept it afloat. Had some nice interactions here tonight. Some good discussion. So it's not like the whole thing's a wash. I don't need to delete this. In fact, I hope that the Killer Klowns team sees this stream. And they see what happened. See what happened when I gave them an opportunity to have their video game broadcast to my humble audience. Humble, humble, humble. I say that again, humbly. But that could have been a few sales. And you lost them. Because you chose to update my profile for nearly an hour and a half. Definitely a full hour. I uninstalled completely. I reinstalled. A nice clean download. A nice fresh install. And still this. This is what you bring me. And that's too bad. Because this game is fun. I haven't played it in a long time, and I was really looking forward to jumping in and getting back into it. Who knows? I might have done multiple streams this game this week if I got on here and had a great time. But I might just uninstall it completely right when the stream ends. Say, alright, well then fuck you! So sorry for not being able to play the game. I wish I could play it for you, but I just can't right now. So hopefully, if you've been hanging out, you'll come back again. We'll try again tomorrow, 11:30 p.m. Something else, something not Killer Klowns probably. Not sure what it'll be yet. I'll try and sort that out. But we'll get back to it tomorrow. We'll try again. And if you haven't done so, please sub to the channel. And leave a comment below if you got anything. Sub wherever you're watching. But really, you know, ultimately, I'd like to funnel everyone here to YouTube. If you can come on over to the YouTube channel, that'd be awesome. Wherever you're watching. Because then you can join the channel. If you'd like to like take your support up to the next level, you want to take it to another level, then you can join the channel and you can get cool stuff like access to custom emotes to put in the chat. And beyond just that, you know, you can get, look, I do a physical zine like this right here. It's like a Super Divorce Super Zine. What does it look like on the inside? Maybe it's just like hand scribbled notes, and no, it's not. I take my time. I write reviews and break down the best and worst game I played the previous month, and other fun things. Nice little welcome letters and advertisements, things like that. It's just it's nice. I think it's cute. Just fun, cute stuff. Check out joining the channel if you'd like to. And once again, please come back tomorrow at 11:30 p.m. and we'll try this whole thing again. We'll see what we can do. So, until next time, everyone, take real good care, keep kicking ass, love you lots. Lord willing, I'll be back very soon with another video for you to watch. Bye-bye.